15 years ago, Bill and Kari took the plunge. They packed up their lives, their kids, and a moving truck, and came to Orlando for the sunshine, the theme parks, and the excitement. It was a dream. But here's the thing about dreams, sometimes they change. Now their kids are grown, the theme parks have lost their magic, and the traffic, the insurance, and yes, Florida man are making them wonder if it's time to go. But moving? That's a whole nother headache. So today, we're going to follow Bill and Kari as they wrestle with the biggest question a lot of longtime Floridians are asking. Is it time to move and leave? And if so, where do you even start? For a lot of people like Bill and Kari, moving isn't the hard part. Selling is. It's not just putting a sign in the yard and an offer on the table. It's uncertainty, paperwork, and endless decisions. Do we need repairs? How long will this take? Are we selling at the right time? And with today's market, can we even afford to buy our next home? These aren't just worries. They're why so many sellers hesitate.
You know, our interest rate is 3%. I really don't think we'll ever get that again the way things are going.
Yeah, and if we move, we're looking at what, 7%? 8%? That's insane.
Well, that's the dilemma. Home values are high, but so are rates, costs, and competition. And selling, it's work. Decluttering, staging, showings at inconvenient times, repairs, negotiations, inspections. Just when you think you're done, something else pops up. And then there's the money. Sellers assume instant profit, but factor in repairs, staging, commissions, and closing costs. That bottom line shrinks fast.
We raised our kids here. We made so many memories. It's hard to just pack up and leave.
And that's what most sellers talk about, the emotional weight of selling, the fear of making the wrong move. So, is now the right time, or is staying put a safer bet? Stay with us. We're diving into the 5 biggest home selling myths that could cost you and Bill and Kari thousands. A lot of people think they know how selling a home works. Maybe they've done it before. Maybe they've been watching the market. Maybe they've just heard a few things over the years. But here's the problem. There's lots of misinformation out there, and if Bill and Kari had just gone with what they thought they knew about selling, that could have cost them thousands. Let's start with one of the biggest myths out there. Myth number 1, we should wait until spring to sell. Spring has traditionally been the busiest time for real estate, but that does not mean it's the best time to sell. Not necessarily. First, every market is different. What matters more than the season is supply and demand. Right now, the market is short on inventory, meaning buyers are looking year-round. And in states like Florida, where there's no harsh winter to slow things down, waiting for spring could actually hurt more than help. Not to mention, when spring does hit, you're competing with everyone else that had the same idea.
So, we might actually have less competition selling outside of spring?
Yeah, exactly. You wait until spring just because you think it's the best time, you can miss out on serious buyers who are ready right now. Myth number 2, we need to renovate before we list. This one, huge mistake. A lot of sellers assume that if they don't update their kitchen or redo their floors, their house won't sell. But here's the truth. Renovations don't always bring a return on investment. What really matters is knowing what buyers actually care about. In fact, minor touch-ups like painting, deep cleaning, and decluttering can make a bigger impact than a full-scale renovation. From a cost perspective, sellers who focus on affordable, high-impact updates, things like fresh paint, curb appeal, and updated lighting, see a much better return than those who pour thousands into unnecessary upgrades.
So, you're saying we don't have to gut the kitchen?
No, you do not. Because guess what? That buyer might come in and want to change it anyway. Myth number 3, we should price our home high so we have room to negotiate. This is one of the biggest mistakes sellers make. Overpricing your home doesn't leave room to negotiate. It leaves room for buyers to ignore your listing completely. If your home is priced too high, you won't even get offers to negotiate with. And here's what happens. After a few weeks of no interest, you lower the price. Now buyers are wondering, what's wrong with this house? Meanwhile, homes priced correctly from day one get more interest, get more offers, and often sell for more money.
All right, you're saying that we're better off pricing competitively from the start?
Exactly. Buyers aren't stupid. They know what homes in your neighborhood are selling for. If yours is overpriced, they'll move on. Myth number 4. Our Zestimate says our house is worth X. Oh, Zestimate. If only it was accurate. Online home value estimators can be helpful as a rough guide, but they don't factor in market conditions, home upgrades, neighborhood demand, or even the layout of your home. Zillow doesn't know if your house has an incredible backyard or if your neighbor's home is outdated. If you rely solely on an algorithm to price your home, you could be wildly off in either direction, costing yourself money or sitting on the market way too long. Myth number 5. We don't need an agent. We can sell it ourselves. This one sounds great in theory. Skip the agent, save the commission, walk away with more money. Except that's not how it usually works. Statistically, homes sold without an agent tend to sit on the market longer, attract lower offers, and often net less money than those sold with a professional representation. A great agent isn't just there to list your home. They are there to strategically price it, market it, negotiate on your behalf, and navigate the closing process so you don't leave money on the table. Not to mention, do you really want the stress of handling every single showing, answering buyer questions, and making sure you don't mess up that contract? Selling a home is stressful enough without falling for outdated advice. And for Bill and Kari, breaking free of these myths gave them clarity. They don't need to renovate their entire home. They don't have to wait until spring. They do need to price it right, and most importantly, they need to be realistic about what comes next. Because that's the next hurdle. Where do they go from here? They're about to face their biggest decision yet. Do they stay in Florida or leave altogether? And trust me, it's not as simple as it sounds. For Bill and Kari, selling their home wasn't just about moving. It was about what comes next, and figuring that out just as stressful as selling itself. The interest rate dilemma, their current mortgage rate is 3%. If they sell and buy again, they're going to be at closer to 7 or 8%. That made them stop and ask, is moving even worth it?
If we sell now and buy something else, our monthly payment could literally double. That's terrifying.
And for what really? A slightly bigger backyard? A shorter commute?
This is the dilemma so many homeowners are facing. Yes, their home is worth more than ever, but so is the next one. And higher rates mean higher payments, making every move feel like a gamble. So do they stay put and wait? Or do they take the leap and move despite the risks? If they move, where do they go? This is where things get tricky. They have options. Stay in Florida, but move to a quieter city. Sarasota, St. Augustine, Naples. Do they move out of state for a fresh start? North Carolina, Tennessee, Idaho, Texas? Rent and wait out the market before making a big decision. But every option has trade-offs. Do they stay and keep questioning their decision? Or do they go knowing there's no turning back? Stick around, we're about to break down the best places to move this year in Florida and beyond. Bill and Kari love Florida, but rising costs, traffic, and hurricane season have them wondering, is this still the right place for us? A fresh start sounds exciting, but so does staying put.
I've been reading about places like Boise and Colorado Springs. They sound amazing, but would we really fit in?
Yeah. And what about the cost of living? Are we just trading one set of problems for another?
That's the big question. Cities like Naples, Boise, and Colorado Springs are topping the charts for quality of life. Naples has gorgeous beaches and a laid-back, upscale vibe. Boise blends city life with outdoor adventure. Colorado Springs offers stunning views and a strong sense of community. But beyond stats and rankings, the real decision came down to one thing: happiness. If you're sitting in a home you love, but you know you've outgrown, if you're wondering if selling makes financial sense, if you're questioning if staying is worth the rising costs and uncertainty, then you're in the same place as Bill and Kari. So what would you do? Would you sell now and take the leap? Wait it out? Start exploring your options? Because there's no one right answer, only the right answer for you. Stick around. We'll see what Bill and Kari decided. Maybe their choice will help you make yours. Bill and Kari almost didn't sell. For months, they went back and forth. Too many decisions, too many unknowns. At one point, they even listed their home, only to second guess everything when the offers started rolling in. Because selling wasn't just about money. It was about leaving behind a life they'd built. For years, their home had been everything. Where they raised their kids, where they made the memories. Walking away from that, it felt huge. But then something clicked. They realized they weren't staying because they loved their home. They were staying because they were afraid to leave. So they made the decision. They sold, not in a rush, not out of panic, but with a plan. They took their time, explored different places, and figured out what truly mattered. And in the end, they stayed in Florida, but not in Orlando. They found their next home in Naples. The beaches, the slower pace, the sense of community, it had everything they were looking for. It still had the Florida sunshine, but without the tourism headaches, the congestion, or the stress that had crept into their life in Orlando. And the best part, it felt like a fresh start. No more worrying about their home's value, no more endless maintenance and upkeep, no more feeling stuck. Now, looking back, they wish they had done it sooner. So here's the question. If you sold your home tomorrow, where would you go? Would you stay in Florida or start fresh somewhere new? Drop a comment below. Tell me where you'd go. And if you're thinking about selling but don't know where to start, grab our Sunshine State Handbook. It walks you through everything we talked about today, from market conditions to choosing your next home. I'm Tom McNamara, and this has been the Florida Real Estate Insider. See you in the next one.